Welcome back to Inside the NDL. This is Coach S23, your host. Going to look at a few, recap the first block. Some technical difficulties have made it a little harder and frustrating than it should have been, but it will be just fine. Just going to go as is. But before I get into that, let's go ahead and look at the top 25. Got a nice show planned for you guys, but we'll start with this. So we have Bama and Coach Bama fan at number 1. Not a surprise. Good team, good coach. They had their struggles down the stretch last season, but ended the season on a positive note, getting a rare bowl win for him. So congrats on that to the Crimson Tide faithful. He'll be back. It's a good team. He's familiar with them. He's going to do just fine. And taking a little bit of that last part there, looking at the top 10 in general, you have a lot of coaches that are coming back. Virginia Tech, Michigan State, UConn. These were teams that had good success last season. And let me add South Carolina. Good success last season. Coaches returning, familiar with the play style. They'll do just fine. Then looking at the next group, NC State a little bit lower than I thought they would be as ACC champ, but they're coming in at 16. You've got Nebraska and Oklahoma State there. They had their struggles, but they got things together at the end of the season. West Virginia had some struggles last season, so hopefully he'll be able to bounce back. And then down at the bottom, Penn State and Notre Dame kind of rounding it out. So going straight into games. Oregon picks up a win on the road against Auburn. Coach rival between Nolan Big Red. Balanced game by Oregon to pull it out. Wisconsin with a road win against Baylor. Griffith had a good game, but not enough. Griffin. Ball State on the road against Houston. Randolph is looking like he's losing a little bit of the magic here. Picks up a close one, but a win nonetheless. Minnesota on the road picks up a win against Hawaii. Good rushing attack. Helped immensely in that one. And got a nice picture there of Louisiana Tech. As you can see, their running back there, Career, waiting to get the ball. He did a lot, and he did well with it as they pick up a win against UNLV. And then we have this picture here by Coach Ice as quarterback injury. Saw 2 quarterbacks, but BYU still rides Nelson's arm to a win, 21-3. Doc and T-Fan with their coach rivalry. Pitt picks up a road win, one of their 2 ranked wins as they knock off Oklahoma State. And then I'm assuming a game with some lag. Miami of Ohio missed field goal there. And it was a 7-3 game. Kansas State on the road against San Jose State, 35-0. Everyone owes it to themselves to at least look once at this replay of that interception at the end. South Carolina picks off the ball, a hop, hurdle, and tackle into the end zone with momentum. And that is how that game ends. So VTech picks up a win, 19-17. Penn State on the road, a win against Tennessee, a balanced attack by the Penn State offense. And going into the highlight, a sack fumble, and I believe I can't even remember the guy's name. I know it starts with a B. The linebacker picked up that one. And then you've got another one there. Hit on the pitch or pressured on the pitch. Pitches it to nothing. And Texas Tech picks that up. 2 defensive touchdowns. I believe there was 3 on the day. And they pick up a win, 28-3. You got UCLA predicted to do well in the pack. Get off to a good start so far. Balanced attacks. They win against Ole Miss. Troy beats rival UAB to start the season. The running back looking to defend his award. And then we go to one of the most entertaining games of this block, Michigan and Duke. If Duke is not on anyone's radar, they will be now. And later on in the show, we'll be chatting with the coach. Hopefully, if the Tech holds up well, we'll get his thoughts on this game, among other things. But you can see there the touchdown to Roundtree gets bumped, not going down. But Duke kept fighting. You can see there steps up in the pocket, waiting for the receiver to clear the zone for the touchdown. And it ends like this. Hands knocked out for the drop. And in overtime, double overtime, Michigan holds on to avoid the upset as they win 52-45. And then coming up next, Florida International, traveling to Utah. And you can see their running back there. Nice move in the cutback as he just glides in between defenders and has a lot of open field. I don't even know how to say his name, but he had a big game. Say win 55-21. Issues with Air Force. We'll get to them later, but they lose on the road by 3. Syracuse wins as they have a balanced attack on the road against Utah State. And going into week 2, Bama and Oklahoma. Oklahoma did all you could really ask. They passed the ball well. They moved the ball for yardage, but they really couldn't get a run game going, and they just couldn't pull it out on the road. So Bama fan picks up the win against who's? Air Force. Back to them. You lose to Western Michigan, and then you beat Ohio State. Jekyll and Hyde with this team, but they are very good. They're going to be a dangerous team as the season goes on. A big win for the Falcons, and then we're going to look at this play again. And Moore gets drilled from behind and catches Penn State in a blitz. And that would be a touchdown, and that would be enough as they hang on. And Moore throwing 4 picks on the day, but they did enough to pull off the win. Impressive OOC win. Got Buffalo picking up a win against Troy. Trendon vowing to knock down Dave this season. He's off to a good start for Buffalo picking up a win, so see how he does down the stretch. Funny picture by Rain, having a little fun with it. But Duke didn't get it against Michigan, but they did against USC. Again, coming from behind as they beat them by 3, the Trojans. And then you see the catch and drop, and then a very interesting play here. A pick gets knocked out, and I guess the ball magnetized into Robinson's hands as he was falling down. But regardless, Michigan recovers, keeps his toes in bounds, and then the option keeper there as Michigan pulls off the road win 24-17 with a late TD pass from Robinson to go with 5 picks. Texas and Kent State. 1 completed pass by Texas. Odd, but it was enough. So Texas, I believe that's VVV. That might be 2, might be 3, but I know for sure it's 2 in a row against Nick in their rivalry. And then we're going to look at Illinois and Nevada. Pretty good game there. I like that animation. Stumbles, but keeps his balance enough to run the rest of the way. And then you've got Brown there picking off the ball. And he won't run it all the way back, but he'll run it back pretty far, which would set up this touchdown run. Nevada would take the lead 17-14. And then later on, Illinois trying to come back, and you've got the sack. So they win. Nevada wins that by 3. Arkansas on the road beats UAB 35-3, stepping off to a good start. Then you've got the running back celebrating as Hawaii picks up a road win against ULM in a shootout. NC State gets a win on the road against Utah State 35-14. And UConn, the quarterback against the corner. This one goes to the quarterback as they win by 3. So UConn looking good so far. Wisconsin wins 28-0. Good run game by White. And that pretty much sums up the early wave of games, so to speak. And then taking a look at other games that we have here that have been played so far. I know there are other guys that will play and that are in the process of playing, but we're just going to go with what's up so far at the moment. LSU, home win. AJ against UA, 23-0. Stanford picks up a win, 41-10 over Ohio. So under a new regime, Stanford still doing what they do best, picking up wins. And what else do we have here? Those are all there. Georgia would have win against Temple 37. A balanced attack by the Georgia offense. Kentucky beats Colorado 24-3 with no offensive touchdowns. Really odd game. And Army picking up a win. What else do I see here? Bama 34-0 over Wyoming. So Bama's a 2-0 start. Good for them. Washington State beats Idaho 27, I think that was 10. But back to the Bama one for a little bit, just in case you don't know, Wyoming is now under the control of Beefy, and they always play, so I'm sure that's always an entertaining game, especially if they're on the mic remembering Beefy's days. Remembering playing shooters with Beefy. Always an entertaining guy. So moving on to week 2, Louisiana Tech off to a 2-0 start on the Razorback as they upset Arizona State on the road 24-20. J-Sense and the Pirates with a win 42-14. And Miami, you got to look at the recap on that one. They were down by, I believe, 21 points, and the run game got going. Miller breaks some big plays. Next thing you know, they're up by 1 with under 2 minutes to go and hang on and get a pick to preserve the win. You got Middle Tennessee beating Houston, so Houston running into some problems early. Northwestern losing to Boston College 14-10. Rutgers beats Baylor 21-13. South Carolina picking up a win against Southern Methodist. Kentucky 2-0 beating Georgia Tech and that annoying rush offense that is Coach IROC. And then Indiana, big lead early against Louisville. They mount a monster second half rally, but it wasn't enough. And North Carolina beating TCU. Iowa beating Washington State. And that's already in there, so I won't comment on that. And that sums up the games played so far. Still some games need to get played, but I have a few things going on. Florida's out with internet issues for the moment. Hopefully no one else is running into those. It seems like EA's patches mess things up more than they help. So I'm just going to have the stats going on in the background, take a look at. I'll just make two quick observations. One, interceptions definitely seem to be more of a problem after patch number 3. Defenses, I don't really know if it's more of the defense or some of us haven't been playing games during the off season, so timing could be off. I'm assuming that picks will go down as the season goes on. We'll see as everyone's making their adjustments, but it's going to be hard. People are still having success passing the ball, but the pick numbers are up there. There's already a couple of guys that are going to be in double digits just going in, coming out of the second block, which is crazy. Just an observation. And running the ball, we all know about that. That hasn't changed. People that run the ball successfully aren't going to be throwing picks, so fewer turnovers is going to help them win some games. I believe there's been 9 kick returns in block 1 so far, and I think Air Force had the long with field goals with 55. So not bad. No punt returns yet. I'm sure we'll see those. I'm sure Georgia Tech will probably get one since he seems to have taken on the special team, whatever you want to call it. Oh, that's it for the first part of the video. Gonna do what I have planned is I like to look at a few things in block 2, and I have 2 coaching interviews lined up. D. Kane, as some of you may know him as AKA, or I think it was Kane God, something like that, I forgot. I don't have it sitting right in front of me, so I'll talk to him. And since I'm kind of pressed on time issues, it makes it easier that my best bud is easy to get in touch with, so I will be talking to IROC as well. And for now, waiting for part 2.